Hi there, it's Donna from Taffy Crafting. I don't have anything that I've made to show you and then show you how I'm going to make it. I'm just going to go straight into it. This is using the inlaid embossing technique. So the great thing about being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator is being part of a team. There's quite a few of us in our team, and people in the team have formed their own teams, but we do all get together, all of us collectively, and we challenge each other. And one of my teammates had challenged us this week to make something using the inlaid embossing technique, which, to be honest, I'd never even heard of before the beginning of this week. But never one to walk away from a challenge. I've decided to give this a go. So let me show you how I'm going to do this. I've used this is the Regal's paper stack. They come in 6x6 in the Regals. There's in the Regals colours. There is a link to all of the products I've used in my blog, and there is a link to that in the description bar. And so you can see everything that I've used to make this. So this is from the Regal's 6x6 paper stack. These I fussy cut from the See a Silhouette suite. You can see that I've fussy cut those. I'm certainly not going to demonstrate me fussy cutting those. It's really difficult for me to do on camera just because my eyesight's so poor. And so I've just fussy cut these out of here. They're so striking. And that's what you get on the back. Really, really beautiful colours. Same I've done here. I've stamped bits out of here as well. Punched things rather. And then there's some beautiful leaves on here. And then we've got this. I've made a card for a teenager using that and just cut those out. And on the back of that we've got just this paint splattering effect. And then there's the blue and the white with this beautiful night of navy on the back. So a really beautiful set of papers, and again I'll leave the link to those in my blog. So the last thing that I did as well was to punch out some leaves out of the leaf punch. Now it was a sad day when I found out that this was retiring. This won't be in the annual catalogue, which launches at the beginning of June. A real shame. So this is your last chance to get hold of this. Again, there'll be a link for that in the blog. So I've punched some of those out, and I punched them out with, this is Mossy Meadow, I think. So I've punched it out of that. So that's what we've got. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to put this together. Now, if this is the first time that you've come across my channel before now, hello and welcome. My name's Donna, and I focus on relatively simple techniques. I tend not to go for the really tricky techniques, and I also like to try new things out. So if that's the type of thing that you like to do, come and subscribe to my channel, hit the bell so that you're notified of any future tutorials. So what I'm going to do is stick these down. So the first thing I'm going to do is put this one here. And this is the type of project that goes out of my comfort zone, because it means putting colours together that I wouldn't normally put together. So I've just got some wet glue on there. Don't go too mad with the glue, because we're going to emboss this, and that kind of just presses it down to within an inch of its life. And if you've got too much glue, it's just going to schmooze out of the edges. So I'm just going to put that there, like that. My fussy cutting could be a whole lot better. And then the same on this one. I've gone a bit too close to the edge there. And then I also haven't got too close here, because I'm going to put these, no, I think I need to have that like that. I want to put these leaves in here. So just with a tiny bit of glue, just on that stem there, and I'm just going to lift this up and just poke that under there. So what you're doing, what you're watching now, is my first attempt at inlaid embossing. What could go wrong? Okay, so there are our leaves. Still haven't decided what sentiment I'm going to put on this yet. I've been looking at my stamp sets, thinking, what am I going to do? So I've just put some leaves on the bottom of that one because I haven't put them here because I wanted to get a sentiment on there. So the next thing I'm going to do is get my embossing folder. So this is Swirls and Curls, and this is another embossing folder that's, or another product that's retiring. Really sad about that. This is a lovely embossing folder. I've used this on a few of my projects. If this is the first time you've come across me, scroll through some of my other projects and you'll see that I've used this a couple of times. So what I'm going to do is just put that in there. This is a good one if you've never used an embossing folder before. This is a good one to use because there's no, some of them they are lines because there's a quilted one, there's a planks one, there's another one that's got lines on it, a brick one, and you need to get it straight. With this one you don't. So what I'm going to do, because my big shot is over the other side of the room, I'm just going to pause, emboss and come back. So I'm back from the big shot machine and let me show you what this looks like. And there we have it. And I just think that looks really pretty. You have to be really careful with this Swirls and Curls, or probably with any embossing folder. Make sure the pressure's not too tight on it because it will start to split through the paper. So you do have to be careful of that. I'm still quite a novice when it comes to embossing. I'm still trying to get the hang of it. So I'm now going to mount that onto my card. I'm just using wet glue here, but you could use tear and tape, snail, whatever you wanted. But I just find wet glue with this, just because it's now embossed, it's slightly easier to use. I keep catching those leaves. So onto the card, get that centrally on there. It's difficult to see because I've got the white card on a white background. There's that on there, and what I'm going to do is just put a little tiny dot of glue on there just to stick that down, and the same with that bit. There we are, no one will ever know. So the next thing I need to do is put a sentiment on there, and I think what I just want to do is just have a piece of DSP that's going to run along there. So I could use a little bit of this green, and I'm just going to cut that 1 inch by 3 inches. I'm just going to get rid of my leaves here that I've punched out, and then just make this 1 inch thick, which I think might be a little bit too thick, but we'll give it a go. I could always trim it back, and 3 inches will be ample, and again I might just be able to trim that down. Yeah, so just a little bit on the wide side. So let's trim it down a little bit to 3/4 of an inch. It's only taking a little piece off, but it might just be enough. Yeah, that's better. So I'm going to choose my sentiment first. And the stamp set that I've chosen is Piece of Cake. This is a lovely stamp set that comes with a coordinating cake punch, so that the punch will punch out this cake stand and then all of these cakes. So I'm going to pick out the Happy Birthday stamp. And what I want to do is just pick out the mossy meadow here, so I'm going to stamp it in that. So I've got my card in the mossy meadow, and then I've just got this small piece here, which is 5/8 of an inch by 2 7/8. I might trim that down. There's my stamp. So Happy Birthday, that's from the Piece of Cake stamp set. I'm just going to load this up with ink. And then just stamp it. Let's get ink all over my block. and just stamp that in the middle. And I think I probably will trim this down. So what I'm going to do actually is put it right to the left. That does not make sense whatsoever. I'm going to put it all the way over to the left. Like that. And I'm going to trim that down just because I want it to fit nicely and not cover up all of those leaves. So getting the trimmer back out again. And let's trim that down to 2 inches. I think we'll do that. Could always go back and see what it looks like. Oh, that's fine. 2 inches. So this piece of green is going to be 2 1/8. And that will be absolutely perfect then. Like that. So getting that ready to put on there. So I'm just going to put this down with some liquid glue, and I'm going to get some dimensionals to put my sentiment on there. Let's try and get some glue out of this. So we'll put that there, just give a little bit of room either side. There we go. And then just with some dimensionals, which I'll go for the other side of the room. Let's just take the backing off of there and pop that on there like that. And there you have a card using the inlaid embossing technique, using some products that are retiring. The leaf's retiring, the embossing folder's retiring, the paper's retiring, the stamp set's retiring. It's a bit sad, really, but if they're the type of products that you like, check out my shop. The link is in the description bar, and also the link to the blog. So that means that you can then see the product links directly. So I hope you like it. I hope it gives you something to try, and I'll be back again soon with another project for you. Bye bye.